My fiancé texted, "Wedding's off unless you sign a prenup giving me everything." I replied, "Send it over." Then I had my lawyer review it and found she'd been hiding a secret inheritance. The tables turned when I counter-offered with my prenup. I, 31 male, was supposed to marry Rebecca in 6 weeks. We'd been together for 4 years, engaged for 1. Everything seemed perfect until last Tuesday when I got a text while at work. "We need to talk about protecting our future. I want a prenup. Actually, I need a prenup. Wedding's off if you don't sign." I called her immediately. "A prenup? We've never discussed this." "Well, I'm discussing it now. My friend Gwendolyn just got divorced and lost everything. I won't be stupid like her." "Okay. What kind of terms are we talking about?" "Simple. What's mine stays mine. What's yours becomes ours." I actually laughed. "That's not how prenups work." "It is if you love me, unless you're planning to divorce me." Red flag number 1, but I was still in problem-solving mode. "Send me what you want. I'll have my lawyer look at it." "Your lawyer? You don't trust me? It's a legal document." "Of course I'm having a lawyer review it." She hung up. 20 minutes later, I got an email with a prenup attachment. The subject line, "Sign this or we're done." The document was something else. In case of divorce, she gets the house that I'm buying. She gets 70% of all assets acquired during marriage. I pay alimony for 10 years minimum. She keeps all gifts, including engagement ring. I waive rights to any of her future inheritances or assets. That last line seemed weirdly specific. I forwarded it to my lawyer buddy Glenn. His response, "This is insane. Also, possibly unenforceable. But that inheritance line is suspicious. Let me dig around." Told Rebecca I was reviewing it. She seemed satisfied, even smug. "Good." Gwendolyn's lawyer drew it up. She's brilliant. 2 days later, Glenn called me. "Bro, you sitting down?" "Why?" "Rebecca's grandmother died 8 months ago." "No, she didn't. We had dinner with her last month. Her other grandmother, father's side, from Germany. She told me her dad's family disowned him. They did, until Grandma died and left everything to her grandkids. Rebecca inherited approximately 1.3 million euros. My phone nearly slipped out of my hand. She's had 1.3 million euros for 8 months? Converted and sitting in an account under her maiden name. She never legally changed her name on some documents. Easy to hide. I'd been paying for everything. Our apartment, groceries, her car payments, the wedding. She always claimed her marketing job barely covered her personal expenses. "There's more," Glenn said. "She incorporated an LLC last month, bought 2 rental properties, in cash." I hung up and sat in my car for an hour, just processing. 4 years. We'd talked about kids, about our future, about saving for a house. Meanwhile, she was sitting on a fortune and watching me stress about money. That night, I acted normal. She was wedding planning on her laptop, chatting about centerpieces. "Did you review the prenup?" she asked casually. "Still reviewing. Glenn's thorough." "Don't take too long. Gwendolyn says delays mean you're planning something." "Planning to understand what I'm signing?" "Yeah." She rolled her eyes. "It's standard stuff." "Standard. Right." Update 1. Glenn helped me draft a counter prenup. If she wanted to play games, we'd play by real rules. My terms: full financial disclosure required from both parties. All hidden assets discovered after signing are forfeited to the other party. 50-50 split of marital assets. No alimony for either party. Separate property remains separate. The kicker: both parties attest they have fully disclosed all assets over $10,000. I presented it over dinner at her favorite restaurant. "This is insulting," she said, barely looking at it. "How? It's completely fair. We both keep what we brought in, split what we build together. The disclosure thing is invasive. It's standard. Unless you're hiding something?" She went pale. "How dare you accuse me?" "I'm not accusing. I'm asking for transparency. You want a prenup? This is mine. This is Gwendolyn's friend poisoning you against me." "Glenn? His name is Glenn, and he's protecting my interests like Gwendolyn is protecting yours." She threw her napkin down. "Sign mine or the wedding's off." "Okay. Okay, you'll sign?" "Okay, the wedding's off." I stood up, left cash for the bill, and walked out. She sat there shocked as I drove away. My phone exploded. Texts, calls, voicemails, a sampling. "You just walked out? This is not how adults handle conflict. Come back right now. You're being manipulated. I'm calling my dad." Ah, yes, Herbert, her father who supposedly came from nothing but somehow paid for her Harvard MBA. Things were starting to make sense. Sure enough, Herbert called an hour later. Son, Rebecca's upset. What's this about a prenup? She wants one. I offered fair terms. She refused. Her terms are fair. A woman needs protection. From what? My teacher's salary. Don't be dramatic. Sign the papers and move forward. Did you know about her inheritance? Silence. What inheritance? The one from your mother. 1.3 million euros. Longer silence. I don't know what you're talking about. Interesting, because the German probate documents are public record. He hung up. Rebecca showed up at my apartment at midnight, mascara running. How could you embarrass me like that? Embarrass you? You've been lying to me for 8 months. I don't know what you mean. 1.3 million euros, Rebecca. She froze. Who told you that? Does it matter? You inherited a fortune and kept it secret while I paid for everything. It's my inheritance. My privacy. Then why did your prenup specifically mention protecting future inheritances? That's different. How? I was protecting myself. From your broke teacher, fiancé? She switched tactics, trying to hug me. Baby, this is a misunderstanding. The money is for our future. Then why hide it? I wasn't hiding it. I was waiting for the right time. The right time being after I signed away my rights to it? She stepped back, eyes hard. You were never supposed to find out. There it was. The truth. Get out. You can't kick me out. I live here. No, you don't. You're not on the lease. You just get mail here sometimes. I'll tell everyone you're a gold digger. With what gold? You're the millionaire, remember? She stormed out, slamming the door so hard my neighbor texted asking if I was okay. Update 2. Next morning, woke up to find she'd told everyone her version. I was demanding her family money and threw a tantrum when she tried to protect herself with a prenup. My phone was full of messages from mutual friends calling me gross and opportunistic. Her bridesmaid army was in full force. Then I did something petty. I posted the original prenup she sent me. Just screenshot it with the caption, the fair prenup I was asked to sign. Note, I'm a teacher making $52K a year. The tide turned immediately. Wait, she wanted 70% of your assets? 10 years of alimony? For what? This is insane. Rebecca called screaming. Take that down. That's a private document. You made it public when you lied about me. I'll sue you for defamation. Truth is a defense against defamation. She hung up and immediately posted that I was financially abusive and controlling. Girl really thought she could gaslight the entire internet. But then Gwendolyn entered the chat, the friend whose divorce started all this. She commented, Rebecca, I never told you to do this. I said to protect yourself, not rob someone. This prenup isn't what I suggested at all. Rebecca deleted the post, but screenshots were already circulating. That afternoon, her mom Eleanor called. You're destroying my daughter over money? Your daughter tried to trap me into a financial suicide pact while hiding her wealth. She doesn't have wealth, we're middle class. Eleanor, she inherited 1.3 million euros. She bought 2 rental properties, in cash. That's impossible, we would know. Ask her about the LLC, Becker Holdings, registered last month. Eleanor hung up. An hour later, I heard from my friend who worked at the same coffee shop Eleanor frequented. Apparently, Eleanor came in looking like she'd seen a ghost and was overheard on the phone saying, You told me Mom left everything to charity. The plot thickened. Update 3. Herbert called again that evening, different tone this time. You need to keep quiet about the inheritance. Why? It's family business. It became my business when Rebecca tried to hide it while taking my money. She wasn't taking anything. You offered to pay for things. Because she said she was broke? She never said that. Herbert, I have texts of her saying she can't afford groceries. Silence. How much do you want? Excuse me. To go away. Sign an NDA, break up quietly. You're trying to buy me off? 25,000. No, 50. Herbert, I don't want money. I wanted honesty from the woman I was going to marry. 100,000. Final offer. Why are you so desperate to keep this quiet? Click. He hung up. Glenn called me an hour later, laughing. Dude, you're not gonna believe this. Remember how Rebecca's inheritance was 1.3 million? Yeah? That was just the first payment. The estate is still being settled. She's due another 2 million euros next year. What? But here's the beautiful part. The will has a morality clause. If she's found guilty of fraud or deception in legal proceedings, she forfeits the rest. Everything clicked. The panic, the NDA offer, Herbert's desperation. So if I sue her for fraud, she loses 2 million euros. I didn't want to sue anyone, I just wanted out. But they didn't know that. Texted Rebecca, "We need to talk, bring your parents." Met them at a neutral location, a private room at a local restaurant. They showed up looking defensive. Rebecca wouldn't make eye contact. "Here's what's gonna happen," I said. "We're calling off the wedding. You're gonna tell everyone it was mutual. No drama, no social media posts, no lies about me." "Or what?" Herbert challenged. "Or I file a fraud suit. Your daughter lied about her financial status to extract money from me over 8 months. I have documentation," Eleanor gasped. "You wouldn't." "I have texts of her claiming poverty, bank records showing my payments, the prenup proving she knew about the inheritance. Pretty sure that qualifies as fraud." Rebecca finally looked up, tears in her eyes. "You're gonna take my inheritance?" "No, I'm gonna walk away, but only if you let me." Herbert tried negotiating. "She'll return what you spent." "I don't want the money. I want a clean break and my reputation intact." They agreed immediately. Too quickly, honestly, made me wonder what else they were hiding. Update 4. We announced the wedding was off due to different life goals. Mutual friends were confused but accepted it. I started moving on. Then Gwendolyn reached out. "Coffee, I have information you need." Met her downtown. She looked uncomfortable. "I didn't know about the inheritance when I helped with the prenup," she started. "I found out after you posted it." "Okay?" "Rebecca's been doing this before." "What?" "Her ex Terrence, the one she said was abusive, he wasn't. She did the same thing, hid money, claimed poverty, made him pay for everything. He found out when her dad accidentally mentioned their investment property at dinner." "Why didn't anyone know?" "He signed an NDA for 50,000, cheaper than lawyers," he said. "She's done this before?" "There's more? The grandmother's will? It wasn't just to Rebecca, it was split between all grandkids, but the others don't know she's dead." "What?" "Rebecca and Herbert have been collecting the others' portions, telling them grandma's still alive but too sick for visitors." My jaw dropped. That's fraud. Actual federal fraud. "I know, I'm struggling with whether to report it." "Her cousins don't know their grandmother died? They live in Germany, haven't been to the US in years." This was insane. I went home and did some digging, found the obituary online, in German, which is probably why no one here noticed. Reached out to one of the cousins through social media, just asking how his grandmother was doing. His response, "She's hanging in there. Very sick but fighting, why do you ask?" I sent him the obituary link. An hour later, he video called me, absolutely livid. His siblings were there too, all shouting in German and English. "She died 8 months ago? We've been sending cards. Herbert said she was in hospice. Where is our money?" I gave them Glenn's contact info, told them everything I knew. The next day, Rebecca called, sobbing. "You contacted my cousins? You ruined everything. You stole their inheritance. It was temporary. We were going to tell them." "When? When the time was right? After you spent it all?" "You're vindictive. This is revenge." "No, revenge would have been suing you immediately. This is just truth catching up." She screamed something about destroying her life and hung up. Final update. The cousins sued. International fraud case. FBI got involved because of the wire transfers from Germany. Turns out Herbert had created fake email accounts pretending to be the grandmother, sending birthday wishes and updates to keep the cousins from getting suspicious. Rebecca tried to pin everything on her father, but the paper trail led back to her LLC. She was the one who created the accounts, deposited the checks, bought the properties. Glenn kept me updated on the legal proceedings. Rebecca was ordered to return 800,000 euros plus interest. The second inheritance payment, cancelled due to the fraud clause. Herbert was charged with wire fraud and identity theft. Eleanor divorced Herbert when she found out he'd been lying to her too. Apparently, she really did think the inheritance went to charity. She'd been living modestly while her husband and daughter sat on millions. The rental properties had to be sold to pay back the cousins. Rebecca's accounts were frozen during the investigation. Last week I ran into her at a grocery store. She was using coupons. Not joking. Actual paper coupons. She saw me and tried to leave, but we were both in the checkout line. "This is your fault," she hissed. "No, this is consequence. I loved you. You loved my willingness to pay for everything. I was going to share the money eventually. When? After the divorce you were clearly planning for?" The cashier was trying not to listen, but failing. Rebecca's card got declined. She had to put back half her groceries. I didn't offer to pay. As she left, she turned back. "Terrence was easier to fool. That's probably the most honest thing you've ever said to me." It's been 3 months. The wedding venue gave me a full refund after I explained the situation. The manager's going through a divorce and was very sympathetic. Used that money for a solo trip to Japan. Always wanted to go. Glenn says the criminal case is moving forward. Rebecca's looking at possible jail time for the fraud. Herbert already took a plea deal, 2 years probation and massive fines. Eleanor reached out last week to apologize. Said she should have seen the signs. Apparently, Rebecca had done similar things in college, taking money from boyfriends, claiming poverty while her parents paid her tuition. Eleanor thought she'd grown out of it. The German cousin sent me a thank you card with a chocolate assortment. Note said, "For helping us honor our grandmother's real wishes." They got their money back, plus damages. Gwendolyn and I actually became friends through this. She felt terrible about her unwitting role. We get coffee sometimes and laugh about the absurdity of it all. She's dating Glenn now, which is hilarious. Found out through the grapevine that Rebecca's working at a call center now. Her assets are still frozen, and no one in her industry will hire her with fraud charges pending. She moved back in with Eleanor. Someone asked if I regret not taking Herbert's $100K offer. Nope. Watching their house of cards collapse was worth way more than that. To anyone facing a surprise prenup, run. If they spring legal documents on you with ultimatums, they're planning something. And if they claim poverty while demanding your assets, they're definitely hiding something. Oh, and always have a lawyer friend. Glenn's getting a really nice wedding gift when he and Gwendolyn get married next year. Yeah, they're moving fast. But when you bond over exposing international fraud together, you know it's real. Peace out. I'm teaching summer school for extra cash, living my simple life, and definitely running financial background checks on any future partners. Trust but verify, folks. Edit. To the person who DM'd asking if this is real, the federal case numbers are public record. Not posting them for obvious reasons, but yeah, this happened. Edit 2. Rebecca made a TikTok about surviving a narcissistic ex. Comments are all asking why she's facing fraud charges if she's the victim. She deleted it after an hour. Edit 3. One of the German cousins is a baker and offered to make my wedding cake if I ever get married again. Might take him up on that someday.